Welcome to Lacombe Ford. Thanks for stopping by our channel. I'm Phil Emmerson. I'm a sales consultant here at Lacombe Ford, and I'm about to show you on our new 22 Ford Mustang Mach E. When you use the power drill, if you squeeze it just a little bit, it goes really slow. Mm-hmm. But if you really squeeze it, it goes as fast as it can go, right? Same idea with the electric car. So your throttle is basically right on the speed controller. So instead of it being like a cable or how much a flap opens to accelerate your gas car, there's no need for it to wind up. It's just instant. So the more I give it, the more it gives back. Where on a gas car, it takes a while for it to spool up. This doesn't have to spool up because it's instant torque.
Okay.
So like a car, when you look at power figures on a car, it goes, like this car's got 500 horsepower and 450 foot-pounds of torque at 3,200 RPM. An electric car, if it was the same, it'd be 500 horsepower and 450 foot-pounds of torque at 0 RPM.
Okay.
So we're doing 80. Mm-hmm. We're going to do 100. So if I put my foot into it.
That was very quick.
It's hilariously quick. The GT is faster.
Yeah.
So this one, 0 to 60 time is 4.4 seconds. The GT's version is 3.5 seconds. It's a whole second faster. The battery pack runs out throughout the middle here, which gives it a low center of gravity and also makes a 50-50 weight distribution. Okay. So as much as it weighs in the front, it weighs that in the back. Which is an added bonus for when it comes to winter driving. Mm-hmm. You'll have very confident winter control because the weight is firmly planted at all four corners instead of more weight on the front, less weight in the back because you got the engine in the front.
Speaking of winter, how does the battery last in winter?
So you lose about 15% of your battery pack in winter driving. So if you have it charged at home in your garage, which is where it's recommended to be charged, mm-hmm. If you're charging it in there, you actually don't lose any percentage of range on the initial charge because you'll do a pre-trip kind of warm up. So warm up the cabin, turn on your heated seat and steering wheel and stuff like that. Get the cabin to the right temperature before you actually leave the garage. Mm-hmm. So it actually just uses the power from your house and leaves the battery at full 100%. And then when you start driving, when you get to your destination, it's going to lose a lot of power while it sits there because it's trying to keep the battery at that ideal temperature to prevent wear on the battery pack.
Okay. So that's another reason why it's recommended that it's a city car.
Yes. So road trips, there is a thing called the Blue Oval from Ford. Mm-hmm. And when you type in your navigation system, it will tell you how long you sit at each individual charger to make it to another charger. So you're not like you're going to sit there for an hour, 2 hours for it to fully recharge. Mm-hmm. It's just going to give you little boost charges so you don't have to worry about that range anxiety feeling where if the battery getting like the 10 to 15% and you're sitting there like thinking if you're going to make it or not. So you're telling everyone to turn everything off. But you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So getting up to highway speed, you see I'm doing 70. We need to do 110 here. So I'm going to look over my shoulder, of course. 110. So I'm going to activate the BlueCruise. So activating BlueCruise here. You see there's gray lines up here. I'm going to hit the cruise control button. I'm going to set this to maximum distance because I trust it, but it's nice to keep that extra gap. Now it says BlueCruise on, watch the road. Resume driving, I can release the pedal. I just turned it off. Got the cruise set for 110. Now I can release the steering wheel and I'm just going to watch the road with my eyes. Now if I look away for too long, it's going to tell me to look me, it says watch the road. I'm going to watch the road. I'm going to push OK. Now it's going to tell me to resume control because it panicked and didn't think I was watching the road. So it's telling me to keep my hands on the steering wheel here. This BlueCruise won't activate now because it thought I wasn't paying attention. It's still going to tell me to watch the road. So I'm watching the road. I got my hands off the wheel. It's going to probably tell me to put my hands back on the wheel and touch it every now and then, just for an extra added safety feature. But the car literally is practically driving itself now. It's watching the speed in front of me. It just told me to touch the steering wheel there. So you just have to tap it for just a second, and you can continue on driving. And it only works on certain roads because it needs the map. Ford maps the roads that it uses. As you can tell, we are going through some construction here, and it's realizing that there's a median here. It doesn't show anything on the screen there, but it's keeping in between the lines because it can still read them. And if it couldn't read the lines, it would disengage, and it'll tell you up on the screen there. But it keeps telling you to touch the steering wheel just to make sure you're not reaching down and you're having your phone going off and stuff like that. I really want you to utilize and use the Ford Sync system and the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which it is wireless in here. I just don't have my phone connected. And if you pay attention here, like we're on a corner now, my hand's completely off the wheel. And up here you can see my range, the percentage the battery's at. I got it set for a tolerance of 10 over the speed limit. If you notice, when we're in the construction zone, it wouldn't go any higher than 110 because of the traffic in front of us, of course. But now we're doing 111 because it's matching the truck in front of us. And it does show the truck right here. It's very comfortable for long road trips. If you're driving from one city to the next, if it's not too far. Again, with range anxiety, if you type in where you're going on your trip computer, you can even map your whole day with it, and it'll tell you if you need to charge at all or not. And it also depends on driving habits. So you can set up to 10 different driver profiles, and depending on how you drive it to your friend driving it, it'll give you the range depending on how you handle the vehicle. So for example, I like the acceleration of this thing. So if I like just to mat it all the time, just to kick my head back in the seat and just have that little smile, your range is going to be affected, of course. It's just like if in a gas car, if you keep flooring in your gas car, you're going to have the same issue. You're going to lose range because of it. If you drive it very eco-friendly and you try to really preserve the battery pack and get as much range as you can extend the range on this. And speaking of range, what is the range on this? So on a 100% battery pack, they estimate an average of 451 kilometers on this particular one because it's an extended range all-wheel drive. Now, from feedback I've been hearing is people that have been hypermiling it, which is trying to get the most mileage out of the range by driving it very nicely, doing the speed limit everywhere and not romping on it, and driving it in whisper mode. People are seeing close to 500 or more kilometers on a full charge, just to do with regenerative braking and stuff like that. And the more you drive an EV, the more you'll learn how to utilize the most out of the regenerative braking and stuff.
Okay.
You also have a thing called one pedal drive, which I'll engage it here. And what that does is it makes it so as soon as you release the throttle, the brakes kick in. And it'll also use the front radar detection to bring your car to a stop if someone in front of you stops. And it just makes it work like if it was just like a power drill, for example. You let go of the throttle, it stops. When you apply the throttle, it kicks back in. So I'll demonstrate that now since there's no one behind us. If you watch the speed here, I don't know if you can get this on the camera, but on this side you'll see a little green bar start to grow underneath, right above the battery percentage here. So I'm going to release the throttle, and you'll notice it slows down dramatically, and it'll bring it right to a stop. I'm not going to stop because I'm on the road here. back up to speed here because some cars are coming. A lot of fun with the acceleration. Again, with it being instant torque.